Hey everybody, Vicky here, and oh goodness, I'm live streaming in 2 places and now it's telling me I have to rotate my phone. Let's see if I can get this thing to work now. Oh boy, oh boy. All right, there is a part of me that feels really, really slick for actually having 2 places that I am live streaming to at the same time. I don't know if that's just a nerdy thing or what, but I'm telling you what, I feel pretty slick. Of course, then this one wanted me to rotate. All right, today, hello. If you are with me today, we are going to be talking about what is truly possible for you after you write your best-selling book. And we're also going to be talking about some case studies that I put into my Easy Writer book and, some of the past clients that I've had. Because, what's really cool is actually seeing real outcomes rather than thinking, oh, this is just theoretical. It may happen. It might happen. I might be wishing. I might be whatever. Let's just go through and figure out what's really possible for you after you write your book. Now, here's the thing that I want to say right off the bat. People tell me a couple things. They say, well, it seems like it's so hard. It seems like it's going to take so long. It seems like, hey, David, it seems like I don't know what to do with all the ideas in my head. I'm not really sure what to write about. I don't know how to structure it. I don't know how to say or tell my story. I'm not sure what to put in it. Should I put this? Should I put that? Am I brain dumping everything that I have into this book that I'm writing? And here is the thing. Everything is scary before you ever do it. Like, let's just get real here, right? Part of the fear of writing your book and getting it out there is because you've never done it before. Or if you did do it before, you might not have really had a plan. You just kind of slopped it together, threw it together, that kind of thing. Hey, Lisa. And what is it that casts out fear? Now, we know love casts out fear, but also knowledge casts out fear, right? When you know what's going to be coming, when you know what to do next, when you see what's in the process and how that step-by-step goes, it's not as scary anymore, right? And the other thing too is people are like, well, what if I get judged? What if somebody doesn't like it? What if my story doesn't resonate? Or what if it doesn't make sense? And again, here's a little thing about, you hook arms with somebody who's done it before and you'll figure out, you'll learn by their mistakes. Like I'm telling you what, I make 50 zillion, bazillion mistakes in the process of putting out my books. And now I have 10 bestsellers and I have 92 others who have been bestsellers with me. And part of the process is like, it seems scary and excitement go hand in hand. Like, it just does. You can be excited about something and scared about it at the same time. Hey, Deanna, it's so good to see you. So the thing about it is you can overcome those things. We can all push through those things because it's really exciting on the other side. And I've got to tell you, it is very exciting on the other side. When you have this book in your hot little hands and you see the words that you wrote on paper, and then people come to you and say, oh my gosh, that really helped me. I really, really needed that. It just is a great feeling. And I know many, many, many of my past clients have said, it has changed their lives in so many ways, in ways that they didn't even imagine. So yes, they knew that it was going to boost their credibility. Yes, they knew it was going to boost their expert status. But the other day I was doing an interview with one of my past clients, Andy Smith. And if you go on my YouTube channel or if you go into my Facebook fan page, not my Facebook group, but in my Facebook fan page, you'll actually see that interview where he talks about how he was surprised. It was just like this bonus thing that when he went to networking events, when he went to conferences, when he talked to other people and he shared that he had a book, they almost didn't even care what the book was about. It just elevated him in their eyes automatically. That wow, he's got a book. And it's probably because 82% of the population wants to write a book, and so many of them, only 3% of that 82% actually write a book. So everybody out there's like, wow, they did something that I haven't been able to do, or they did something that I really, really want to do. And so it just automatically elevates it. And then what was really cool was I was talking to a different client, Stacy Wingfield. She has an interview up on my page as well. And she said a byproduct of the book was her boost in confidence. Now, we knew that was going to happen too, right? We knew about the boost in expert status and credibility and authority and all that stuff, but it's that feeling that comes that you don't realize. And she said her confidence increased, her attitude about things changed, her perception of can I do it changed. And she has seen that rub off on her children now, watching mom grow a business and then saying things like, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur too. I want to do this. And I've seen other friends say, have kids that are like, okay, now I want a YouTube channel. What? You're live streaming? I want to live stream too. Like those things that we were terrified about. Okay, I was never terrified about live streaming. Quite honestly, I love to be the center of attention, in case you didn't notice that. And so I've always loved live streaming and speaking on stage and things like that. But for kids to say, I want to do something and follow that example of, oh my gosh, I'm going to speak it into existence. I'm going to have a positive attitude. I'm going to have that can-do attitude. Stacy told me that she is so like, I don't even know how to explain. It's like her heart has swelled up because her kids are now looking at her in this way as that kind of an example that maybe she never realized before, you know? So if you're just hopping on, say hello, give me a little emoji or whatever, let me know where you're coming in from. We are talking today about the possibilities of your book. And I did just put a post out today saying, you know, the bad news is that the book that you have inside your head, that one that's bouncing around, the one with the great ideas, the book that's going to get out there and help people, it is doing you no good, it's doing people no good, it's doing the world no good because it's still stuck in there. It can only do good if you actually write it and put it out. Hey Lisa again. I didn't know you were from Alabama. Hello from Alabama. Probably a lot warmer than we are in Michigan here. I've been wearing a lot of long sleeves and a lot of turtlenecks lately and a lot of sweats. You know, and I would love if you guys have any questions on writing your book, if you have fears that are coming up, if you have things that you're trying to get over so that you can get to the point where you're like, you know what? Now is the time. Now I realize I need to do this. I understand what I'm missing out on. And this is what I want to share with you, because a lot of times we don't do things because we don't realize exactly what we're missing out on. We just figure, you know, we are the only ones that are missing out on something if we don't do, right? If we don't have our book out, we're just the ones that are missing out because we can't say that we wrote our book. But the truth of the matter is, so many others are missing out because you're not doing that as well. And the things that you miss out on are things like getting asked to speak on stages, getting asked to be on podcasts, getting asked to write for magazines, getting asked to be on the cover of a magazine. I didn't bring that down today. I did remember to bring my book down finally after 3 days of my 3-day challenge. I kept forgetting to bring my book down, but I brought my book down today. I was asked to be on the cover of Women to Women magazine. I was asked to write an article for TEDx U of M. I was asked to speak on multiple stages. And I'm asked to write articles for people's blogs and online magazines. I'm asked to be interviewed. I'm asked to be on podcasts. And then on top of it, when you have your book and it aligns right and you can take that book and turn the readers into clients, you are seriously missing out on a great business tool and opportunity that makes getting clients easier. I think it's easier and a lot less invasive for me to get somebody to buy my book, or for me to even give it out to people, have them read it, get to really know me, and then at the end of the book, they're like, oh my gosh, I want a little bit of that. Let me reach out to her and see what it is that she can help me with and how I can get further with her on this thing. Whatever that thing is, whether you're a coach that's helping people to find the love of their life, or whether you're a marketing coach or an Instagram coach or a business strategist or anything like that, right? Lisa says it's true. I don't want to miss out on writing my book and not let fear stop me. I have been fighting fears for a long time, but you have really changed my mindset. I am so glad to hear that, Lisa. I am so glad, because somebody out there is waiting for you to cross paths with them so that you and your book can help them with something in their life. And I hear that so many times. The other day, I interviewed my client, Jay. Again, her interview's on my page as well. And hey, Karen. And she said that so many, like, she was so scared. Her book is called Abuse to Abundance. And so she talks about sexual trauma, overcoming that trauma so that you can live a life of abundance and find love. And she said people have given her such feedback over the very intimate stories that she put in there. It has been so rewarding for her to hear the feedback. She thought there might be some people who are like, ugh, why did you share that? Or how could you go there? Why are you sharing all those private details? But she said 0 people, and she has thousands of people now who have read her book since the summer, and she says 0 have come back to say, why did you share that? Why would you do that? Why would you? Everything has been exact opposite of the, oh my gosh, I really needed this. I got this right at the exact right time. I'm so glad that we crossed paths. And you know, again, here's the thing. We let excuses get in our way, right? Let's just be real about this. 2018 is almost done, and there are things that I have let slip. I had meant to be on more podcasts, even though I am interviewed and asked on many podcasts. I wanted to be on more, which means that I needed to reach out to more podcasts, and I didn't do it. It had been on my list literally for 6 months, maybe even more. Now I think about it, might have been even more. And I only sent out maybe, I don't know, 3 inquiries. We procrastinate on things because we let other things get in the way, whatever those other things are. Sometimes they're legit things and sometimes they're not. I was talking to somebody just yesterday again about, you know, if we really just look at the whole time excuse, I don't have time to write my book. I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to, I don't know what it is, right? Whatever the thing is, when you look at your day, there is at least 15, 30 minutes, maybe even an hour every day where we waste time fiddle-faddling around doing something like putzing around, who knows what it is. And I'm not talking about self-care. Do not get me wrong here. I'm not talking about self-care, because self-care is very critical and important and something that I do every single day. That's not considered wasting time at all. That's considered something that is necessary for your health and well-being. But realistically, we waste time watching TV or, you know, whatever. Okay, I love watching TV. But what I'm saying is the excuse of time truly isn't valid, except for the fact that we let ourselves say that we don't have time because of whatever other fears are coming up, right? So I told you I was going to share some of the things that are in my Easy Writer book. So there are, my Easy Writer book is called 10 Steps to Writing a Best-Selling Book That Wows Your Readers and Turns Them into Paying Clients. Now, if you want to be in a contest that will potentially allow you to win this book. You have to go back to my Facebook group, whether you're watching this on my Facebook page or if you're in my group, then there are 3 videos from this week that have homework. You need to comment on them and do the homework, and you could be eligible to win my book. And we'll do a little drawing next week after everybody has had time over the weekend to look at things. And I know Christmas is coming up and whatever, so it might take a little bit extra time for me to get to that, but we will be doing that. So 10 Steps to Writing a Best-Selling Book that wows your readers and turns them into paying clients. And sometimes, you know, people, it's not always the paying clients that we care the most about, right? We're heart-centered people. We want to help people. We want to make sure the book that we write is meaningful. And that means you got to take your stories, layer them in with your content so that it makes sense. And if you don't know how to make your book make sense, find somebody, whether it's me or some other book coach. It doesn't have to be me, but if you resonate with me, if you like me, if you think I'm fun, if you understand my sense of humor and you like my goofiness and I resonate with you, I would love for you to check out that program. We'll talk about it a little bit more, the Easy Writer program, which is named after, or whichever way you want to call it. I named my book after my program. So that is definitely in alignment, right? So anyways, what I was meaning to say is, yes, we want to turn readers into clients. Our highest level of service with somebody is actually selling them something. I know sometimes it doesn't seem like that, but the highest level that we can serve somebody is selling them something. When they invest in themselves, that is a level of commitment. That is a promise that they are making to themselves. It's not about them investing in me. Like if you sign up for my Easy Writer program, it's not about you investing in me at all. Not at all. It's not about you investing in my program. It's about you investing in you and your future and your clients and the people that you want to help in the world. And my highest level of service to you is not to give away everything for free. I mean, I have plenty of challenges. I have hundreds of videos. I have a lot of blog posts. I have a lot of guest things. I have a lot of videos, a lot of podcasts. There are so many things that you can get from me for free, including downloads and templates and all sorts of things. My highest level of service to you is to make you put your money where your mouth is. Sign up for a program that is going to give you accountability, give you what you need, hold your hand where you need it, allow you to ask your questions, and get to the end goal that you want, which is the best-selling book, right? So let's talk about a few case studies. I already talked about some of them, but there's a case study in here that I want to talk about. So some of you who are here may be one of the few in the population who've actually written a book and left it on your computer or left it in your notebook or whatever it is, right? So I want to share with you one of the people that is in my Easy Writer book. Now, her name is Karen Donaldson. She is real. If you go and Google her and you put her name in Facebook, she is real. She is a speaking coach, all right? So what she did was she actually enrolled in my one-on-one and a 90-minute intensive. One-on-one people get my Easy Writer online program as well, so that we don't have to waste our time on one-on-one stuff with Easy Writer stuff, if you know what I mean. I can just say, hey, that's in module whatever. Go look at that. If you have questions, let me know. Let's use our time on this, all right? So Karen was part of the statistics that had written her book but left it on her computer. She actually had 2 books written there for over 4 years. And when she came to me, she said she hadn't published them because she didn't know what to do with them. Sound familiar? However, she knew that her books were valuable. She felt they were valuable to her business and that they could help their clients. Sound familiar too? Whether your idea is already out or in your head, right? So we created a strategy to revisit those books. We made sure they aligned with their business. We stuck in the seeding and marketing that they needed, and we launched them to bestseller. So she asked me, which book should I launch first? And I really shocked her. We've talked about this many times. We've done videos on this where And Benjamin says they're just sitting on Amazon. Yeah, and you know what? Amazon's not my favorite thing. Like, I love to buy things on Prime, but Amazon is not where I want my book to sit. Okay, so she says she was shocked because I said, why not both at the same time? Let's just launch both books at the same time, because then her marketing could do double duty. We wouldn't need to space out the release of her books and do two separate campaigns. Like, why do that, right? So if you got two books at the same time, let's just do it. Now, I don't really always recommend that. There is a little hint in the Easy Writer course that's like, hey, by the way, here's a simple way to write your second book really, really quickly. Most people don't take me up on that though. So anyways, it never occurred to her that this was even an option to do both books at the same time. So I continued to shock her when we discussed the release date, and I asked her why it couldn't be in 2 weeks, because she was like, let's do it in 30 days or let's do it in 60 days. It's like she had to ease. She thought she was going to ease into not being scared about hitting that little yellow publish button, right? That little button can be kind of daunting when you look at it. It's like, oh my gosh, do I do it? And then you press it and then you're like, can I undo it? Maybe I thought, oh, what was I thinking? You know, and there it goes off into cyberland. So anyways, she was like, 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, but we did it. So at first she said she wasn't ready and she kind of, you know, on the phone. But then she realized how excited she actually was to get them out. I mean, they had been sitting on her computer for 4 years, right? So 2 weeks later, after executing the bestseller launch strategy, she became a double best-selling author internationally. Now Karen uses her books in her client marketing, and she uses it for her speaking gigs, especially corporate ones. She gives a copy to the conference coordinator to help them kind of push them over the edge to say yes to booking her. And then she also gives a copy to her audience, right? Now, here's the cincher. The people in the audience who weren't the ones who paid her in the first place now have a copy of this book because she got paid from corporate. Those people are now reaching out to her to be one-on-one clients. So now she's getting paid from the company to speak, and she's getting paid again from the audience. And at her last estimate, she had added about 6 figures to her coaching business because she finally found the courage to get those books out. Now, as a side note, epilogue, she recently released her 3rd book after those 2 years with her first 2 books. And now it's the 2nd in a series with one of the other ones, if that makes sense. So now she has a series of books, and she's going to write another one later. And she launched that 3rd book to international bestseller again this time, and she stayed at #1 for over a week. Like, we stopped watching after that because it didn't matter anymore. All right, so that's all about Karen. I don't know if you see any bit of you in her, but let me know in the comments. Does any of Karen's story or her fears or things that came up, does that sound like you? Let me know. All right, now let's go with the next one. Andy Smith. I also did an interview with him the other day on my Facebook page. If you want to go ahead and go there and watch that interview, it's also on YouTube. Like, all my stuff, all my videos are on YouTube. And sadly, here's an admission. Sadly, my YouTube only has 86 subscribers. So if you want to go there, type in Vicki Gould. It's VGTV. Vicki Gould, VTV, like V as in Vicky, VTV. You'll find my YouTube channel. It has a couple of my free 3-day challenges. It has my vlog in there. It's got meditations in there. It has my old Thursday trainings that I used to do in there. Lots and lots of, oh my gosh, amazing free stuff in there. And when you go there, hit the little subscribe button, because all I want for Christmas is 14 more subscribers. Then I can hit 100. Oh my gosh. Lisa says, this is so encouraging. Yes, it sounds like me. Yeah, okay. So next one, Andy Smith. Does he sound like you? All right, let's go with this one. So Andy Smith, He was part of the Easy Writer Guaranteed Amazon Bestseller Program, which is launching live February 4th. Super early bird deadline is December 31st for some amazing bonuses. And the first 3 people to sign up between now and then are also going to get from me a 30-minute private laser focus intensive worth $600. Okay, so be one of the first 3 to sign up. Let's talk about Andy. Andy had been trying to write his book for 10 stinking years. 10 years. He picked it up, put it down, picked it up, put it down, and he was super duper frustrated. He thought, it's so true that writing a book is long and hard. It's virtually impossible. I'm never going to get this thing done. I might as well scrap the whole thing and give up. How many of you have felt like that? If you have your book in little bits and pieces and parts, whether in your head, on sticky notes, in little pieces, slips of paper, in your journal, whatever it is. Thing was, he had a big desire to have his book. And part of it was selfishly for him. It was just one of those things that he wanted to get done. And part of it, the other part, was that he really felt like he had a contribution to give to the world. And that was going to be through his book, at least partially through his book. And he knew deep down that he wanted that for himself, but he just could not get it all out of his head. So sometimes, the words would come, but almost never when he willed them to. When he sat down and he was like, okay, I got to do this now. It'd be like blink, 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 right? The cursor, blink, blink, blink. Lisa says me, yeah, blink, 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 blink. And you're like, oh my gosh, I had so many good ideas. I kid you not. Oh my gosh, I am called the words lady. So I go to bed thinking about copy and I wake up thinking about copy. And sometimes I write the darn best blog posts and the darn best Facebook posts, and I put together the scripts for the best videos in my head while I'm laying in bed. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so good, that's so good. I'm going to remember that later. And I get to my computer and blink, blink, blink. I don't remember. And it sounded so good in my head. And all of a sudden, there are no words. Yeah. The words lady with no words. Yeah, that happens to all of us, right? So he gets bits and pieces of things he thought he should put down, put it in while he was driving, on the road, taking a shower, or like me in bed. Seemed like the most inopportune times a great idea would come to him, and some of them he'd forget before he could write them down. And eventually it seemed like his book was in bits and pieces all over the place. Like I said, journal, post-it notes, half thoughts on slips of paper, whatever you could, parts of notes in the phone, little reminders here and there, and it just wasn't all cohesively coming together. But do you want to know why? It's because Andy had never considered what he wanted for his book. All he knew was that he wanted a book. It wasn't until he got into the prep module of the Easy Writer program that he answered the very critical question of, who is this book for